From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth. Here at Tommy Max, of course, at my bar where everyone has a chance to sit here and tell their story. We always have great guests, and we have a few great guests this time around. Brought to you by our good friends at Heritage Capital Group and Client Focus Media. Coach Campo is here, Brian Sexton is here, and we're going to talk a little education. That's right here at Tommy Max. Let's get into it. Lisamarie Winslow is here, president of Kaiser University. Hi, Lisamarie.
Hello.
Great to see
Thanks
you, Coach. Good to see you. Brian,
Tom.
always a pleasure, my man.
Good to see you. Coach in college. I was going to say he knows a lot about education. He was a college football coach.
That's right, absolutely.
So
you want to run with this one, Coach? Because education might be, no, I'm just kidding.
Well,
might be a little out of my realm. You know what I mean?
Well, the education part, I'm a little lower on the scale than the coaching part. But,
so
we have
President...
opportunities even for y'all. I mean, our median age is 26 to 31, so
Wow.
you fit right in.
yeah,
So a lot of the students are whatever they did before, where they went to got their bachelor's and now they're looking for a master's program, whatever, the MBA, you guys offer that. What did you say, 106 master's programs?
Master's and PhD programs combined.
That's
So,
incredible.
my population, we also have associate degree seeking students too.
Okay,
so,
you do. Okay.
And those would be primarily your individuals who, what did some college or what have you, and just finding a place in their life right now and have decided that they want to go into the medical field. And most of your medical degrees, including nursing, start out with associate degrees, occupational therapy, physical therapy. On the flip side of that, for my students who are seeking to kind of upskill themselves, those are the bachelor's, the master's programs where they're looking to upskill themselves.
Tell us about, you mentioned Dr. Kaiser who the namesake of the university.
Yes.
Tell us about Dr. Kaiser, because I don't know that gentleman.
I'd be happy to tell you about Dr. Kaiser, but let me first start with Mrs. Evelyn Kaiser. Because Mrs. Evelyn Kaiser and her son, Dr. Arthur Kaiser, started the university almost 50 years ago. And Mrs. Evelyn reached her 100th birthday this year.
Oh, happy birthday.
And unfortunately passed away.
Oh.
So she reached her
heavenly birthday.
Yeah,
heavenly birthday, absolutely.
That's
She reached that 100 mark and then unfortunately passed away just last month. And so it's been bittersweet for us as the university because it's a huge mile marker, if you will, for the university, for her family. So it's been somewhat of a family university.
Wow.
And Dr. Kaiser has carried that on. Mrs. Evelyn came to the campus every day up until she was probably in her 90s.
Yeah.
And then, it was time for her to kind of step back a little bit. But she is on the walls of the Capitol. She's been recognized by the state as, a woman entrepreneur. And
Nice.
so it's awesome to be a part of a university, especially since education in general has been dominated by men and men leaders.
Absolutely.
And so when you look at our university and Mrs. Evelyn being the precipitous of the university, and when I look across my colleagues in the system, we have about 50% presidents are women and 50% are men. Actually, maybe a little less on the men's side. So a lot of female leadership has been supported in the university.
Which is great, obviously.
Tremendous.
Fantastic. That's a big job, Lisamarie. I mean,
It can be.
Do you get a lot of sleep? Are you up at night thinking about? I mean, you got
I lose more sleep over my kids than I do my job.
That's for sure. That's all of us, I think.
I hear that.
What's the biggest challenge that you have these days in education?
There's so many. It depends on what sector you talk about. But I would say the biggest challenge that we have is in our society, we have really robbed, in my opinion, the value of an education. We've downplayed it so much. And you have individuals who are either scared of the financial obligation to go back to school, because we're a private university, we're not subsidized by the state. And so, they get scared. They get scared about that financial piece. And so probably one of the biggest challenges. The other is the skill set of the students and the commitment. What they're bringing to the table. If they've got work experience, it's a little bit different, but 20% of my population comes straight from high school. And those critical thinking skills, the ability to kind of figure things out on your own, and the resiliency, is really, really low right now. And so
Yeah, it is.
we
Yeah, it's
try-
I can
across the
see that.
board.
I can
Across
see
the
that.
board.
Yeah.
Right?
No matter what we're talking about.
It's, you know, in having 3 kids and seeing that every kid gets a trophy, which which I think drew me to why I love hockey and my boys are in hockey, because, you know.
You like the fights, let's be honest. That's why people like hockey, they like the fight.
Hockey game broke out, right? Yeah. The reality is, when you look at the sport of hockey and athletics in general, the skills that they develop in our young folks are skills that they need for life.
Yep.
And it used to be in our K through 12 system. It used to be in our public higher ed, and we've stripped it out, quite frankly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we have individuals whose resiliency is low, their ability to adapt and kind of figure out what's the next step, or even take that next step forward, because they become paralyzed by the fear.
Yeah.
So probably that is
Notice the
society.
parents, let them take the jump, let them take the
right?
walk.
Absolutely.
They got to learn.
Absolutely.
It's all they got to learn.
I just got done reading a book called The Comfort Crisis by David Easter. It speaks exactly to what you are. It talks about culture and how we've all become too comfortable in our 70 degrees with our phone. Go get anything you want to eat whenever you want to eat it. The resiliency factor is something that we see across all industries, across all age groups. Doesn't matter where you're from. We've got to be more resilient as a people.
No doubt.
So it's interesting to hear you say that in education.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. And, you know, from a parenting perspective, people like to say, you know, I don't understand these millennials or whatever, but as parents, we created them, right? Everybody gets a trophy.
Right.
I'm so glad it's swinging to the other side, because it's not life, right?
No.
You don't get participation points.
Meritocracy has to rise.
So as we wrap up here, one thing I learned off air is you guys have 13 or 14 actual campuses throughout 19.
Yep, 19.
Through the state of Florida.
Primarily located in major cities. So we're the furthest north, and then we got all the way through Miami. Furthest west that we go is Tallahassee right now. But every major city we have a campus. We're about, in the pack, we're about, I would say 10th in size population. We got 20,000 students across the state. Here I'm just about 800 students.
What's the pitch? Someone listening to this show and, hey, why Kaiser?
Because if you're fearful of success, we can help you overcome that and give you the tools on how to become successful.
Like resiliency.
Resiliency, for sure.
That's number one.
That's number one. Let's go.
Great. Yeah. Great to have you on the show. Best of luck. That was awesome. Thanks, fellas. Always appreciate it. Love doing this show every week, man. You never know who is going to have a seat at my bar and tell their story and doing all the great things that they're doing out there. So make sure you check out their great profiles, this conversation, and many others at the dailynewsnetwork.com website. Until next time, stay safe out there and be cool and get your education, man. We'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
The team at Heritage Capital Group is special because it's a collection of people across the spectrum.
We have people who have been in the shoes of owners that are looking to buy and sell, and professionals that have executed transactions helping buy and sell companies for decades.
I think when you talk to us, see what our experience is, see what our skills are, see the reach that we have, you'll be very happy with the recommendation.